Like, do I have to go to the channel itself again to like put in the game and stuff? Is it working? What? What the fuck? It's scheduled for a minute ago, so I mean it should be working already then. Oh, okay. Bu- 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 Dude, this is so much more like a roundabout, squiggly squaggly than like Twitch stream, but I guess that's just because I'm not used to it. Okay. And then I edit the tags again. Because it didn't save for some reason. But I guess that's because, like, Streamlabs itself doesn't have a tag function, it seems. Uh... what else is there? There's also, like, DLC for this game, but I don't know what it would be. I don't know if I even have it. It is a mystery. Game title of the House of Fata Morgana. This one. Save. And then I don't have to be on the tab anymore. Okay, so it is working, right? Yeah. Thanks for the confirmation, I guess. Alright. So I'm assuming you vaguely remember where we left off, which is just running into the ether. And then we got the backstory flashback of the big no-nos. Uh, and any memory. Or should I go back to the uncomfortableness? You're gonna have to talk louder because I hear myself like 2 times louder than you. Okay. Guess we'll go on the BRB screen. I get a drink. Yeah. Alright, I guess we gotta go from this one then. Alright, so this is in the rain where she just wishes she could fucking die. And then she has a sick flashback. Let's see, where was it? Okay. I do it every time. It's on purpose, I swear. Anyway, she's having a panic attack out there. About how Mikkel took the knife and stabbed it through her heart. Figuratively. And then she wants to forget. And the bite of the rain is warm compared to what she's been through. And then she has to face the truth of her big traumas. Is that it? Just A? Alright, I get. Alright, then we could skip over the spookiness then. Yeah, that's where we stopped. Because then you were reawakened by fantasy football. Alright, so the last bit was I guess I just have to recap the part. Seduced my husband, blah blah blah. Yup. What? Yeah, okay. Did I have nothing to simulate opening something? Wow, I dripped water everywhere doing that. Yeah, so what's the temperature outside so I can open this window? Don't be. That's actually pretty cool. Look, yeah, I can open the window. Hold on. I got a window coded person. Anyways. So she was all like, oh, he was in the crowd. I thought he would just stand there and do nothing, but then he actually was like, yeah, don't kill her. And then it was decided that she would be sent to one of the people's abandoned mansions. And then that's when she started the game, on the carriage. Alright, I hope my mom and sister are alright. Two of them will believe in me even if no one else does. The one wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and a single sullied passenger. Looking out through the window, I could see the city walls slowly fading into the distance behind us. I doubted I would ever set foot in that land again, or this land again. Ever cross the Grand Pont again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I'd finally escaped from that house. I'd finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. And then your boy brought it back up. Good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. on the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living at the house where I was to reside. The Boilingers' youngest son. But the letter didn't say why he had been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request. That I look after him and not ask any questions. So I'm not just being sent off to the middle of nowhere. Still have work to do. If I look after whoever's the mansion, then they'll do the same for my family. I don't have much say in the matter either way, I suppose. Carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path, and bouncing around inside of it, I resolved to take back my life. Peace I had once known, the cheerfulness I had lost, the deuce I would forget. Lock away my memories, bury every terrible thing that had happened to me, cast aside those memories, and find my smile once more. I've no idea who I'm gonna find there, but they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile, and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. Figured, since the both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, they'd probably be other things we had in common. And so, I would forget it all, and get my life back. Get my smile back. Haha, you thought it was sinister behind it, but it was trauma behind the smile, haha. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you... God, I can't take it anymore. Big screams. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again at this very moment. Yeah. Yeah. If she still had the letter, she could have probably given it to him. The one that's just like, just take care of the other person. But also, Mikhail do be kind of a dingo. But I mean, that's how it be when you don't talk to anyone for 10 years. The rain was cooling me on the outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. Threw up and I threw up and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. Delicious. Ha 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 ha. When I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain or because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Mikhail's no different. My attempts to get close to him to always keep a smile on. It was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying. Like he didn't believe in anything at all, so he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, that's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body. And then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I'd like that. I always thought I didn't want to die, that I wanted to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best after all, and that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle was all just a farce. When I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade with me. Oh God. I doubt you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman. I've given up on living altogether, but even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. Cold spread through my flesh and into my bones and my heart and my lungs and stomach, freezing me in like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Are we gonna switch views? Nope, utter black. And that, I was for sure, was the end of me. Oh, we're back in the present. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. I am even now putting her through a harrowing experience, digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened. It's the same thing all over again. Mug ass. I'm laying it all out before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything, because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? You're... Mikkel. Yes, my name is Mikkel. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps, why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clenched her cold hand in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though, and it's still too soon for me to apologize. Which... that would be so bad. Like, what would the point of this whole story be then? When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. When she's reclaimed herself, then is when I must tell her. Now let us return to our past. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Back to the past. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I could see nothing, not even the woman beside me. But I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Alright, she wakes up. And it looks like this is the helper's place, possibly. Hey, stay with me. Are you alright? Yeah, no, this is too fancy looking. Well, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see? What? You had me scared there, silly. You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. Really glad you're alive. What am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? Feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick. Like there's still something in my stomach. But no, thank you. I don't want anything. Really should have something. Need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. Rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. Got some milk on the fire? I bet you can handle a cup of that. Start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at your word. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up from the steam within the wooden cup. So, coming to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I'd lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. Spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time. And the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized that then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in that dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost. And I started to regain the willpower to stand up on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. You look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You are alive because God's guidance made it so. God. Came across you early this morning as I was heading to the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What are you doing in the forest? You don't need to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand I talk? I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. What? I can tell just by looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. Can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we help each other out. No tax-hungry lords. No, we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. Pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. Rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here. That's great to hear. I was slow to send you back out there in your current condition. Haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amadi. Just one lowly villager of many. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. The village's representative, more or less. Representative like the chief? Only a name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on the Lord's any Lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than everyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that, though. Haha. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important to keep sight of who you are. Right. Now you go get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. Don't mention it, Giselle. It's your village now, too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. So he's Amadi. Seemed like a nice man. Maybe here, I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't certain enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that had happened at the Boilinger estate, and everything that had happened at the mansion. Forget about Mikhail. There's one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. Cursed youngest son of the Boilinger family. Mikhail, who had made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead, was very much alive. Well, that sure sounds like this village is gonna get destroyed in the crossfire. What had he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? Nah, I don't care about Mikhail one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. Meanwhile, at the mansion, The house was, as it had always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I kind of felt guilt seething in the back of my chest. And any attempt to figure out why only made me feel worse. The look on her face then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring any harm in any way. I mean, he prides himself on being able to read people, too, so... Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though. And she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. Not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. The reaction she had when I grabbed her just seemed pretty, one of trauma PTSD. Huh, no, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it was worth, to escape from his gaze... Was this where he smashed the window? Nope, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Sunlight bad. Meanwhile... Whoa, it's someone new! Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are you? We hardly ever get visitors here, so downright awestruck by you. You're getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you. Oh, no, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone. Haha, you got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular, once I decided I was going to stay here, it just sort of started feeling better about things. I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see. Glad to hear. It's all thanks to you, Amity. Keep thanking me like that, and my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday. How about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone. For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amity was taking the lead. We walked around the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. After getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking like ruins than residents. Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village. When your ancestors lived here? No, we were drifters, fortunate to come across some decent-looking land, so we stuck around. How do you know what it was like before then? There are a few stone tablets left behind, and based on what we were able to extract from their text, Sarah used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from afar came in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area is more open to foreigners. People of all different races, speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. Couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them for the word, the city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, famine, a plague, can't say for sure. That's what the tablet said, though. We have been cursed by the witch. Cursed by the witch. Look over there, you see that river? Used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it. There's hardly left of it. If you continue down the path beyond the fallen bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper part of the forest is so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place, wrapped in a cloud of darkness. To make it through that, though, there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed the city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years, and she casts her curse at anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually on its borders, or in its borders. My guess is the bridge was there to mark the road leading to it. As you can see, the bridge is gone, and the houses still standing here are practically in ruins. The mansion alone looks just like it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by the same name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true, though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken root in the region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansions, peaceful villages. This is as peaceful a village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering up there. I know all about the mansion. Who lives there? I was there, after all, with Mikhail for a full month. I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about the witch living there were spread by him. Or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. Never going anywhere near that house again. Witch is cursed, Mikhail, they're nothing to me. Nothing! With nowhere else to go, I ended up in the small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here. But I found peace in the nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me to his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among them. Coming from a merchant family, everything felt so new. I'd never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. First, I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. Over time, I grew more comfortable with my new life. The people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Come on, Giselle, come play with us! We're playing hide and seek today. Can't start spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop that. Don't pull my skirt. Alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching. We'll be down at the square, okay? Got it. See ya. Haha, the kids are taking quite a liking to you. Amity. You think so? They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more, sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on it quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Aha. Why, thank you. I don't think it's so much that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek. But that's not gonna earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future. I never look at them that way. Seem to like you too quite a bit, Amity. Thanks. I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children. Oh, heavens no, I thought that much was obvious. Talking about the future. I see. But knowing you, Amity, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time. It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who would take interest in me. You don't give yourself enough credit. Fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. Really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. Oh, no. What? Pardon? I won't pressure you into it, though, of course. But I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way. But it's a little soon for me to be thinking about settling down like that. It's pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. Alright. I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun. I wonder if he really meant it. Amity is a nice fellow. I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Why am I thinking about him now, of all times? The man has no redeeming qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amity was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon winter started giving way to spring. So it's been like a couple more months then. Because it was like mid-winter when she left. Alright. On the day when the air was still still had a brisk winter bite and budding seedlings battling to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. Well, that day the village men were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks in their faces. It's clear something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amity. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else. Actually, with a dejected look in his face, he started explaining. A lord found out about this village. What? And he said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back tax for unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over the village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area, after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. Doesn't matter how absurd his claim on the land is, we have no choice but to comply. It's terrible. What are we going to do then? We're going to do as the Lord demands. The 5 years' tax will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggest we abandon the land and find somewhere else, but it would take time to cultivate land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. Use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields? Of course. This village is my home now, too. Thank you, Giselle. It'll be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this. I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we can make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village. Your family has more hands to work the field. I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us. When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the village's top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary, and before long everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill. And it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider. Come on, get moving. Ow, stop that. Why are you doing this? I'll stop you once you've told us everything. Told you everything? One morning, a man dragged me into my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What's this all about? Oh, don't play stupid. We all know it was you. What? It was me? The thief. Amity? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative. The man who saved my life. But in his eyes now, I thought you were better than this. His contempt, anger, and scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized when I saw his glare immediately as someone who had been subjected to these looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so I just stood there stupefied. There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. This village is too small to attack bandits, though. Since the Lord demands we pay him taxes, even the smallest item can have a dramatic impact on a family's living condition. What you've done is no joke. What? Wait just a second, I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think You have been seen in the act. What? So long as there are testimony against you, your guilt is assured. What? Who said they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. It's obviously lying. You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools the whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. Managed not to get found out until you showed up. No, that's not my fault. Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken. But don't you believe me? There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars. But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear. Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village? Amity, please believe me. You all people should believe me. You've been avoiding me as of late. Haven't you? What? Because you had something to hide, correct? No, it's... What other reason could you have to avoid me? Why? How could he say these things? Why won't he believe me? Now return the things you've stolen. I can't, I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have? I see, so you've already moved the stolen goods. She said she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off easy. Give us back our property. Why? This is happening to me. The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village quick. Restrain her! No, get your hands off me. Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it? I didn't do anything. Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything. Now stop. You've all gone mad. Please come to your senses. Welp. It was bound to happen. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged to Amity's house. He sat coolly in a chair and then shoved me to my knees before him. I'll ask you one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole? And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me. Do you swear with God as your witness? I do. I swear with all my heart. You don't actually believe her, do you, Amity? She not only sold us out to a lord, now she's threatening to make our lives downright impossible. Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amity. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, she has betrayed her fellow man. Why are you doing this, Amity? You were such a good man. I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you, Amity. Of course, why didn't I see this? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village, his family, the water? What? A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. Well, here comes the waterboarding and the drowning. If it wasn't clean water from the well, then it was grimy, murky wastewater. I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. Before I had the chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. Well, struggled with my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively gasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth. Well, pull her out. We'll get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. Keep it up until she dies ready to talk. Well. How unsightly. And to think I ever considered marrying this woman. Stop blah 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 blah. We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. Please. Help blah 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 blah. Stop. Well. Let's give it no time to rest. My head shoved in the bucket, then pulled out long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in over and over again. Not a person in the room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use a loom, something I never touched before. We had laughed and lived together. They were normal people, perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane, but now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them. And every single gargle, gas, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing in my suffering. My conscience was slipping away from me. Thought I could hear laughing and chanting. But it was all chattering and all passed through my ears as mere noise, though I could make no sense of it. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. What was I doing? Oh, right, I was in the forest on the verge of death, and Amity found me, and we almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just guessing what to do with you, and we decided to make you village property. Oh, you didn't save me. If you agree to work with us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. Maybe worthless in the fields and terrible with a loom, but there's plenty you can still help with. What are you gonna make me do? You like to get your hands dirty. Considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. Well, seems you've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today. Make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else. Dirty stays in line. The way they're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No, anything but that. Please have mercy. If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way out, Giselle. Get back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that it's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village. The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it. They were enjoying watching me squirm. Take your pick, Giselle. Something of equal value. If I can get that, you'll set me free. In a moment, a bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear. All Kingdom Hearts? If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade for food, make your way to a larger town. I think I know where you can get something worth money. The mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh god, when did I become... You could steal some of that and sell it for good money. Such a despicable woman. You mean the cursed mansion? She expects us to go there? Are you onto your mind? And when he goes near the house, is killed by the witch's curse. There's no witch living there. There's no curse. Giselle, what do you know about the mansion? I lived there for a while. For a month. You what? Son of a noble lives there. He's human, and he's alone. A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city? I presume he was banished there. I sent to the mansion from the capital as act as a servant. There's plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be more than enough to pay the Lord 5 years' worth of taxes. Is what you're saying true? I would not lie. The whirlwind spread across Amity's house. I was unable to look at anything but the floor. Couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Mikkel. You swear there's just a single man living in that house? Yes, it's only him. Alright. Turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Alright, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. Just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me, don't think about trying to run. Right? Welp. Yep, on the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How did I end up here? How could I never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? Who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? Prayed for God to even show a little mercy and ensure Mikkel wasn't around. Though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midnight sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon us. Despite on the surface there not being much impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach the place they wouldn't normally otherwise. Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It seems someone really does live in this cursed place. I'm honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. Door's old, we could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold on, there's no need to be barbaric. Do you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? It's not like a band of thieves. Ha! That's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, men, you ready for the lives of luxury? Break the door down. Well, here's that part of the story, where the villagers show up. It's the damn noble to make our lives so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it, break down the door. Please stop this. Break it down, break it down, break it down. Wop, 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 wop. Stop. All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again and again. And in a few minutes' time, it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me. Growing lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door echoing opened through the forest. It would seem you're not aware of whose house you're trying to break into. The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stared at the man who had appeared from within the mansion. Surely you know what this place is called. Beneath the dazzling midday sun, He had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucent pale hair. So you surely came prepared for whatever you would find. And his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob. A demon. Someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did, indeed, look like something not of this world. It's a demon! The rumors of the place were true! A cursed demon lives here! Demon? Him? Mikhail? No, he's not Indeed, I am cursed! The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. The witch, a demon, a spirit impure, call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows through this skin as does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color, offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, a symbol of the lifeblood spilt by my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend, never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations. Till the moment of your deaths, you shall regret ever coming near this place. No, have mercy. It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with the promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage the house. We're innocent. Amity, please have mercy upon us. Give her to me, then, as an offering. Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please. I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. So much as consider it. You will die by my curse. I swear it, we won't return. Run, get out of here! And then we kill them anyways. Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amity, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in this world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore. Don't think I'm helping you. His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue. Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned to the mansion to plunder it? That you brought these men here to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle. Yes, it's true. I persuaded them to steal from you. Are you really so desperate for money that you would resort to looting? So how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging into bound for information about me, you brought a mob to this house. And they were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself. Your scheming failed, so you retreated to silence. For God's sake, you're sicking me. Done with you, I'm done. Leave this place and never show your face here again. He shouted at me, and I stared into his fiery eyes. A somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Huh. So you can get emotional like anyone else. And my heart stripped raw and cast out to sea. Finally sunk, deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me. What? If you want me gone, then kill me. You could do that, can't you? You could use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it right here. Use your power and take my life. If you don't want me to do that, then stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me. Kill me! What? I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares about me, about how cares one bit about how I feel. They just walk all over me laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? Never stole anything. What are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought everything would work out if I could keep smiling. I believed things would get better. What? I don't know. I thought it would turn out to be Amity, but he seemed pretty adamant that it wasn't. Like, that it was someone else, so... For all we know, it's whoever, Maria's related to. Like, if there's another person that's related, like, sort of like how there's Maria, There was what was her name? Natalie. Like the second girl in all these stories. Yeah, so it's like there was just other person, probably girl. Yeah, because he's the chief dude. Because that's the mystery thing that we're like out of place for. I smell like bread. No. I believe that would make things better, but nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me, what did I do? What did... But you... all I ever did was believe. Tried my best to survive, to always wear a smile. But everything's gonna be my fault. I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. Then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought the mob, and before that you used my father. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You take your family's word over mine. You don't have to have any idea what I went through here, or there, how hard it was to keep myself together. What? Well, I mean, at that moment, he was also emotional. He wouldn't believe her anyway. Yeah. Never wanted riches. All I wanted to do was get a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted, but the man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me. He raped me. What? Again and again, no matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop again and again. Threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife, over and over and over again. What? My father raped you? No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. Can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me! Give me a moment. I need time to process this. You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me now. Kill me, damn it. Give me some time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside, let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. Is this where she just grabs the knife and just stabs herself? Because, you know, I'd believe it. That was a door. I might have best let it stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. Wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust having heard crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in the cell. Hey, it's the fireplace. Still didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her. I had her sit before the fireplace, wait in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what I was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? Yeah, time for more awkward Mikkel. Well, I don't know. I did know I needed to reflect on some things she had said outside and try to make sense of them. From there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were going to have. As unpleasant as I sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing grew to a stop. An oppressive silence stepping in its place. Far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but I didn't know how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about things we were thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even if down the road lay truths I would happier not seeing. Giselle. Could you please tell me what you did at... No, what was done to you at my family's house? How you ended up coming to this mansion, and what happened after you left? Would like to know everything from start to finish. Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village? I cannot say yet. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. Suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale to me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Boilingers to work as an Abigail to earn money for her family. Of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her. But the things he did to her, she spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I'd already seen how she felt deep down, though. Had heard her pained screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of an old wound being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experience were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her to protect herself. Of that I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do when I learned my father was a rapist? I was supposed to react to that revelation. What was I supposed to think? But the fact that his blood flowed through me, I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I could show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. Well, I mean, like, to be fair, he was like, way back, I'm your master, we're not equals, you do what you're told. So, I mean, she was just like, do you need more proof? Because, I mean, I could believe you totally just be like, show me the proof. And it's like, oh, spicy, I hadn't No, we have to be uncomfortable. I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take anymore. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken up my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind, so why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. No, we have to see why Mikhail's a fuck up. My childhood. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything. I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more to look at everything I had pretended away until now. It's not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will. I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what had happened, I believed. I was sent to the mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. First I assumed it would essentially be a private prison. In the carriage on the way here I was given a letter. A letter from whom? Didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simple, explaining that there was someone already here. The Boilinger's youngest child didn't go into more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you. Do you still have the letter? I don't. The coachman took it from me before I finished. After I finished it. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It's just a harmless letter. It was anything but. What? It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me dead, so he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive. Then who? My brother, I believe. Oh! Bro? There's a bro involved now. Either Didier or George's, but I guess it'd be Didier. Your brother? Oops. I'm also like butchering the name, but I'm assuming it's Italian. Or French. Didier. Didier? What language does Google give me? No. She's given up. It's Romanian. Didier. Okay. Didier. Why would he... I do not know. Can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me. I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you. Why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. Nah, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest. Alright. She'll resume the story about the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described the night in the rain, listening to thunder when she gave up on living. And I knew I had caused that. She then told me of the time she spent in a nearby village. How at first life seemed wonderful. In time it came crumbling down. Naturally she wouldn't be here tell me this if nothing had happened there. When she was through her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. Thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air as she exhausted. That's everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, just please kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day, when I found you in my room, you just told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this. The knife. What? You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. It's the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're gonna use it on me. Can't help it. Start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. World goes white. Can't even form words. There's nothing I could do. Oh, now I see. She was grimacing in pain the day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away. Because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time. Mikhail really have to have everything spelled out to him, huh? It seemed she was just somebody from guilty conscience. I felt nauseous realizing I'd been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmending wound. What a damn fool I was. Why'd you get so upset with me? Why'd you have to point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed, I couldn't fight back, you didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. Alright, no holds barred. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically. You still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures, they wound easy. Apologize. What? Apologize to me. I said apologize. I'm sorry. Again. Put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more, get down on your knees and shout it from your gut. I am so very sorry. Was that a laugh? Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange, he told me to do it. Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured if we ever talked, you'd just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did, you listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed. Oh yeah, you sure did. I wish I'd had a mirror to show you. Sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't accuse me of lying. Faced up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. Feeling is mutual. But for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. Tried to sell you out to save myself. For that, I am truly sorry. I don't understand. What? Do I need to get on my... need to get down on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the villagers for falsely accusing you of stealing. You're a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. Planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Amity was probably in on it as well, to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target let out their frustrations on, in a way, helped unify them. He used to meet the end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for. Still, I still feel really bad about this. So, sorry anyways. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we both apologize to each other, we can call everything square. Square. We both wrong. So we apologized and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowing in perplexity. Like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of her crimes were not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all my family. Everyone I'd ever come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being a son. And being related to someone doesn't mean make you responsible for their sins. Wouldn't be fair to blame you for that. You're curious. What? Curious? About what? No, not that kind of curious. You're a strange creature. I'm human, you know. Yes, I know you're human. Making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite the leap in logic. You know, I was at my lowest just a bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover it all. I was just as surprised as her. She'd been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me and show me vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more expected was the fact that I was relieved to see it. Switch perspective. We have this like Moonlight Sonata knot, and then I'll find out that it was an actual like piano piece, and I'll be like, shit. I don't know how long there is. I'm like almost done, it seems. I'm at like 18 hours of play, and I think it was like 20 hours or something. I really truly wished I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I just had a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had to let my initial impression of him solidify I had let it solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. The man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, and distress. Or at the very least he appeared to from where I was standing. Mikhail was just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. Still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing here at the mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you gonna keep pushing the master and servant line? Still think I have no need to know? Be quiet! For the love of God, stop talking already! You always pick the worst time. What? Excuse me? What do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't... Unbelievable. I was just starting to think you might actually be a decent human being. Then you go and spout this. No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you. Who else could it have been? I was, talking to, you know, I have a I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts. Oh. So he has like a tick. He has a verbal tick. He's filled with the demons. Yeah, so something like schizophrenia or bipolar, multiple identity stuff. I want it to be real. I don't want it to be a medical thing. Where's my fantasy? You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse. Sorry. Weirdo. What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And it was, even if he did, please tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept everything you say. Please. If you don't put into words, I have nothing to work with. Okay. Where should I start, though? How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that. So, what you said outside was a bluff, then? And just a way to chase the villagers away. Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. You can't actually curse anyone, huh? Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others would disagree. The reason for that has to do with my body. Skin, hair, eye color, right? Right. Is he literally just albino boy? Because I mean, that's essentially what he is. White hair, red eyes, and weak to sunlight. Yeah, in the medieval ages, that's pretty cursed, I guess. Seeing Mikkel under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. And I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I'm oversensitive to sunlight. With little light through the window isn't much of a problem. I can't be outside directly into the sun more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me into this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Because you look different from them? Family's reputation is at stake too. If other noble houses realized they had given refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. Sorry, however, the villagers reacted. Called me a demon when they saw me. I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that, though. Nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have. I'm sure you were afraid as well. Saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon. I thought you looked like an angel. A what? I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. Never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you lived alone in the dark mansion. For 10 years. It's never really an inconvenience. Bring me all the spies I need. Big liar. Have you never considered running away? It's not an option. Because of the sun? No, I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched. To ensure I don't leave. Watched. Can't allow anyone finding out that I'm alive, particularly at the Boilinger estate. If I were to run, they'd find out and I'd probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay on sight easily. But also, I'd been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I've all but given up on that hope now, though. Not that I even had the willpower to really fight for it. Let's see. don't have to worry about pitying me either. It's a long time since it's long since become normal to me. It's not something you should ever become normal. So what was really a moment? What was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me, but in fact I doubt you will. Afraid to think I'm completely mad. Though I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. The witch's voice? It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else could hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy. No, not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. It has to be it. 10 years alone in a place, you're bound to start hearing things. Seems like a dull person too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel sorry for him. Do you want to know? Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. Huh? I've made up my mind. I'm gonna stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry, I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore. But will you now? You hear it again? Let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid. I never said I was Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, kinda took that extremely long route. But there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Master. Now where should we begin? I know. Supper. Are you hungry? What should I make? Slow down, please. What is it? Is there something you'd like? I'm happy to accommodate. You actually intend to stay here again? After what happened last time? Because of what happened last time. Because of that, we're finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. And this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master. But, alright. I can stay here, right? I don't mind. Glad to hear it. Say. Yes, Master. You ever want something from me? Could I please ask you to put into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Got it. Then there's something to start with. What do you say we open some windows? Open the windows? Yeah, we don't have to if you think it'll cause problems, but it'd be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave. I wasn't the one who barred the windows. You weren't. They were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. Well, I am sensitive to light, yes, I mentioned. A little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems. Alright then, can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten up the place. After a few moments of silence, Mikhail gave a curt nod. Well, we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded. Two of us forced open the ones that were just covered in rusted over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light, like nothing I'd ever seen before. Oh, blinding. Flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us expected. Now the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. Might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us it was a huge accomplishment. This time, it'll all work out, it has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together. But now that I'm alone in the dark, in the absolute silence of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. Starting to feel like... something bad will happen. Like, I'm gonna mess up again sometime. Took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together to keep thinking positive. Oh, well, we're having trauma flashbacks. Trauma flashbacks. There's Amity. Yeah, it's alright. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you just have to hold. You have to hold fast to your faith in the goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Oh, knock on the door. Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. There's no one here. What was that about? Oh, a glass. It's wine and it's so warm. I guess he heated it on the fire for me? Oh, you could have at least said hi. Heh. I have a feeling this is gonna work out. Time to sip this mystery liquid. Some people. Yeah. It's a rich thing. Yeah, it is. Alright, the light shined in through the windows, is swallowed wholly by the darkness. As if to say our time together never actually existed. We saw it through. We saw it though, together we watched the light crack open the darkness. Yeah. I mean, people cook with wine, like they heat it up. Some people probably just like warm wine. Like that's how come there's like cellars and people leave it out. Like they don't keep it in the fridge usually. I mean, in this age, there's no stove. Dude, this is the Middle Ages. And I'm sure there's modern people that do that too. I'm gonna look it up now. There's plenty of recipes for mulled wine, which is a warm, spiced wine that you heat up to warm you up on chilly winter nights. It's mostly recipes for mulled wine, so yeah. And there's also people that just like warm wine, it seems. I don't go on Reddit, so no. I can't tell you that. But there are news outlets that are like, here's how to warm wine safely. Can you microwave it? Yes, you can. It's like, okay. Yeah. I beg of you, please remember, please find yourself. Please, Giselle, don't let things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen that most beautiful light. Giselle. But are these truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's? Like all the others we've seen so far? She was so bright and energetic, and I am neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own. It's not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. It's all very much real. As were the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days? Those words create a strange warmness within my chest. But at the same time, they make me indescribably anxious. Is there really happiness to be found down that road? Even if our past doesn't lead to happiness, it couldn't be worse than where we are now. Come on, Giselle. To the spring that made us more than strangers. I mean, this can't end well because, I mean, we're in a weird time loop-de-loop thing. And we still don't know, like, who sold out the village and stuff. Alright, so here's the scene from the door. Where, what? No. What do you mean? You were okay with it in the first how? You want what? Okay. I only have water. Okay. Ah. There's your water noises. Alright. My vision was slightly unfocused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus' embrace, but I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. That was the first time I got a good look at her in the light. I could see facial features I'd missed during yesterday's commotion, and those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of tribulation she had endured tainted her pure jade eyes. She's surprisingly good looking. Mike, I am clearly not myself right now. Something the matter, Master? I know, you're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm gonna have to throw my best bucket of water on you. What is a best bucket of water? I'm awake. Is there something on my face then? Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Amusing? Let's get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. Alright. I got my first decent look at Mikkel's face in the light that morning. Watching him stifle a yawn as he crawled out of bed. All the details I hadn't picked up in the darkness, his expression, mannerisms, and the way he looked at me. Could see facial features I'd missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. I was probably, no, most certainly, making a dumb face at him. Is this me, or is he kind of, no, very pretty? How could I not have noticed until now? Oh, jeez, I can't look him in the eyes. Yeah, what can I do for you? There's something on my face. What? No, no. Huh? Huh? Hair monster? Excuse me? No, your hair is, really long. Yeah, that's it. It's way too long. Oh, is that any way for a servant to speak to her master? Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status to you anymore. Oh, I see. It's really hard to tell when he's joking or not. So, about that cleaning. May I wash my face first? Well, you going to help? As I just said, I'm not going to act as a spear around you anymore. Heh. What are you snickering about? Can't help it, I'm happy. Hee hee hee. If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it. Huh? No, I can cut it? Of course, I'll give you my best haircut, the best haircut you ever had. Oh, but I should warn you, you'll want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always says you're likely to lose an ear if you were to, you were your hair whenever I cut. You stay away from me! Don't fucking touch me. Shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day after our opening up to each other. Maybe this was normal and I'd simply never felt it before. I don't know. I thought it would take years to get close enough to someone to be able to hold a conversation without picking apart every detail. Here was a day later, already there. Is that how it usually worked? Did people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. A strange feeling. All that friction had dissipated in an instant. It was like we had known each other for years. The nuns certainly entirely willingly be able to share meals together, something I'd always done by myself. Life in the light. Hey, I see you shoving around aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything. Do you have any idea why there were so many rotting parsnips in the cellar? I don't care for it. You can at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh, you're not a kid. Don't be so picky. It's not good. It's not good for you. Hasn't caused any problems thus far. It will soon enough. Can't believe you. We have limited supplies and you won't eat your vegetables? Oh, question. I've got an idea. Go on. The list of supplies sent by your family set in stone. Meaning? I was just wondering if it was possible to make requests. If I would go out shopping on a trip. Perish the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from. Right. So, are you saying that out of concern? Or who could ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night. I'm not interested in throwing more servants to the lions. You know, you're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought. What's that supposed to mean? Ah, nothing. Back to your question about the delivery, yes you can. I haven't made any quests recently, but you can write what you want on sheet parchment. Or if we don't have any, something similar, put it in a box and leave it outside. As long as your quest is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive with the next package. Why, is there something you need? Yeah, I was hoping to increase the selection of veggies, and while I'm at it if possible. Actually, that's a secret. A secret? It's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you what, when the time is right. We became friends. You're still my master, but he allowed me almost complete freedom. He didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. Still not very talkative and oftentimes hard to read, he at least seemed to make an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself. Not much detail, and anything family came up, and he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to a remote mansion. Never encountered Michael's brothers while working at the family estate, but assuming he was right, it was one of them who had given me the letter. They were likely our only allies at that house. I don't know what he's been thinking. It's been 10 years, he muttered. To which I replied, have faith. It's better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. My being able to find renewed belief in the kindness of people was what allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It was an exciting or thrilling life. It was humble, simple one with just two of us. But I wouldn't trade the light for anything. Some people might think me dull or dreary, but it was ours. Oh, it dull or dreary. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help me with the cooking. I honestly do, but this is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront of gastronomy. This is unearthly disgusting. Get me better ingredients. What? I'm not a bad cook. These are just simply bad ingredients. If they were better, they would taste fine boiled. It's not as bad as you claim, besides. You make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've been eating this for 10 years. I don't see the problem. I've heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm gonna need to put your taste buds through some intensive rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm gonna wipe down the top shelf. I can handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on a chair. It's not as simple as you might, as just running a rag over it. I got practice, let me take care of it, alright? Yeah. There's a lot more dust than I expected. Probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're gonna want to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here goes. He's quite practiced. Is there any need for me to hold the chair? Ah. Huh? Ah. Achoo! What? Oh, whoa! Hold the chair! Ow. Bro, you're so weak, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master? Your hand is, what? Your hand is, it's on my chest. Damn, we anime now. No, it was an accident. Right, it was. It's fine, really. It was my fault anyway. It's completely, totally fine. Can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward? So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that. That's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was, but that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush it all aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. I'm not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. Felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. Excuse me? Mikkel? Excuse me. I hardly even perceived it as a breast. An obese rat. An obese rat. What? How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm gonna rip out every last hair on your head. Leave my hair out of this. What'd you do all this time by yourself? That's vague. So you were really stupidly bored out of your mind. What did you do to keep yourself occupied? Meditate? How many times have you reached enlightenment? Sometimes I played chess too. By yourself? Yeah, imagine how my opponent would react to my moves and play the other side that way. It's kind of depressing to think about. How would his master play a game against me? Do you know the rules? You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with trends and know all sorts of games. Uh-huh. Prepare to meet your maker. So who was supposed to prepare to meet again? Come on, have a little mercy. You trounced me. But one more time, it just wasn't at the top of my game. When am I gonna start meeting this maker? How? How did you put me in checkmate? One more. Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. Oh, my king. Please stop. Damn. He's torturing her like the way I demo knight you. I beg you. I beg you. Amateur. Can you just go a bit easy on me? You never asked me to go easy on you. This isn't a game, this is slaughter. This is a one-side massacre. about this maker. I'm looking at him right now. This was actually kind of fun. No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair. Such as... let's see. I know. Arm wrestling. Arm wrestling? Yeah, you sit across from the table, put your elbows on the table, grab hands, and see who could pin the other down. Who would ever willingly participate in a primitive competition? Not interested then? You afraid of me? Afraid you might lose? Alright then. Can't imagine losing to a woman. Alright, elbows on the table. Start on my count. Ready to go. Slam. Victory! Oh no, they're bonding. You gonna smile too, boy? Nah, you're just sort of resigned. Oh no, a small smile. With each passing day, I grew less and less unusual to have someone, having Giselle always at my side. Began feeling more engaging in silliness, speaking my mind and showing emotion. Could say her name, and Giselle would turn around and smile at me, an unimaginable sight not long ago. For 10 years I had lived alone. Solitude had been my normal. But it was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I'd say good friends was probably most apt. Time continued on. Our relationship remained relatively stable. Eventually summer came, bringing with it the longest period of sunlight I'd experienced in many years. Then the leaves began falling from the trees, and before long the world grew cold and dreary. That winter, the fireplace was never without a crackling blaze in its belly. Actually. Because it's dumb and niche, and no one actually likes playing it. Yeah, because I used the ham, but I'm not like the try-hard demo knight that's using full sets and shit. There it is. The boiled wine we drank was middling and cheap. But she said with a smile, I've never had wine this good before. And though I didn't say anything, I felt the same. Sunset much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. There's the reading together scene from the story. The previous one. Monka S. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost feels like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? But that's why troubadours often perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Or because there's ale. Drunkenness even makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to the ears. Oh, you're such a cynic. That's okay. Say. You remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Please don't tell me you're bringing that obese rat incident back up. No, not that one. Before that. Before we could actually, like, you know, talk to each other. I believe I suggested we'd read something together if you ever felt the inclination. You, might have. Can't say I remember. You sure about that? You turned down my proposal saying it was wasting my time. But look, it actually happened. If you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this moment would come. I was, for the most part, focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. But to be honest, I didn't expect that we would actually get a time where we would sit shoulder to shoulder reading a book. You never know how things might pan out. I actually do remember. I remember how I tried to push her away, how I mistrusted her. I was nothing but hostile to her. People change, and perhaps, if they can, so can the future. Maybe I can hope that our friendship might take a chance. Maybe I can hope that like our friendship, there's a chance the future might take a turn for better. Well, that's the jinx. Something the matter. I don't much care for hypotheticals, but if by some chance I were someday, to be able to return to that house, should that time come, that house is home to her nightmares. Even if I didn't happen until after my father is gone, I wanted to erase what had been done to her there. She acts like nothing's wrong, though. I don't know. Have her wounds healed, or do they still remain? Should the time come. Should that time come, if that day comes, I will do what I can to ensure you will live comfortably in the city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I could work something out. But I see. Thanks. Thanks a lot. But if you would be comfortable doing so, I would be pleased if you were to join me. I mean, as a servant. As a servant? Yes, as a servant. We're short on hands. I see, as a servant. Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, as a servant. Alright, sure, I think I will. I'd like to accompany you, Master. How exciting. Sure, a wonderful future awaits us. I pray so. Now back to the story. I believe we've just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess. I bet he was a big, buff, muscular knight. Let's not talk about how muscular he was. I'm inadequate. I got beat. She let a gentle laugh, and I thought I smelt something sweet on her breath. Was it her scent, or perhaps my imagination? I had no way of knowing. We sat close. Even the stillest shift seemed sufficient to allow me to hear the sound of her heartbeat, causing mine to accelerate. Curiosity has flooded my mind. What might she be thinking now? What does she think about me? And as much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment, just briefly lost my way. Though I tried to convince myself otherwise, it was all in vain. When had my pulse gotten so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When, how, why was this happening to me? I thought I had already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. Before long, winter retreated and our second spring came to take its place. A full year had passed since she'd resumed living together. I don't think it was my imagination that the year felt much warmer than the last. Spring seemed to arrive a bit earlier than previous years. One night, when the breeze carried on it a pleasant residual warmth, Giselle escorted me out into the garden. It's the middle of the night. What's so important? I just found it myself, and I couldn't wait until morning. A rose, it blossomed. Rose. Yeah, it's been a long time since the rose motif came in. Giselle had, over the past years, cleaned up the nest of weeds that had been strangling the garden. Off to the side, a small plot of turned soil swaying in the wind beneath the moonlight was a single rose. Last year I requested flower seeds, but I just couldn't get them to grow, and I was starting to think they never would. Look, if only one, it was only one, but I did. And I had no idea. Of course you didn't. I didn't tell you. Why would you keep it from me? I wanted to make it a gift to you. What? Why? Roses make wonderful gifts, supposedly. No, that's not what I mean. Why me? I haven't given you anything. Consider it a symbol of my hope that we'll still be close after a year from now. If we are, then this is yours. I don't follow her reasoning. I don't know if I follow it all, but... The sight of the deep red rose, almost melting into the night, the dark night, was almost, perhaps the most wondrous thing I'd seen in my life. Never understood why people found flowers so enchanting. They were always just plants to me. But... Oh, someone's horn is going. Honk, 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 honk. But that one, on that night, was undeniably beautiful and majestic. Like a child seeing a flower for the very first time, my hand automatically reached out for it. Not knowing the proper way to appreciate flowers, I didn't gently caress its petals or take its fragrance, but snapped its stem. Oh, you picked it! Are you gonna bring it back to your room? When I finally processed her question, that was when I realized I probably should have left it to grow in the garden. From the base of its stem, where I'd plucked it, droplets succumbed to gravity and fell on the earth. With it came delayed realization that I had ended the plant's life. But it was overpowered by childish possessiveness. The stunning flower was mine. Are we getting Beauty and the Beast back? Moonlight trickled down from the heavens, giving it a gentle bluish tint to my hands and a smile on my face. You're gonna need a vase then. Give me a minute. For a brief moment, the moonlight must have played a trick on my eyes. Oh shit. You're doing the cheesy thing. Huh? Master? What on earth am I doing? A look of bewilderment filled Giselle's face inches from mine, which hammered in reality of what I'd just done. The thought had crossed my mind that perhaps her black hair might prove a good backdrop for the rose, but it was supposed to remain a simple fancy. But what was that about? An excuse. I need a good excuse. A drawing. A drawing? Right, I would like to preserve it on canvas. What? What? I mean, that a rose on its own does not make a very compelling picture, so, I would like to include you as an accessory. Wait, you want to draw me too? Merely as a background element. You're slightly more interesting than a vase, you know, that's all. I've, never seen you draw anything before. I just never got the urge. You know how? Many years ago, my brother taught me. I don't think I can handle being a model. Never had a drawing done of me before. Probably, be better off with just the rose. You gave it to me, didn't you? That means I am free to do with it as I please. I did. I didn't mean to sound so rude. I had no real interest in drawing the rose. But I couldn't just take it back either. Well, way to dig your own grave, boy. Jill shrunk back, quite visibly, and I couldn't bring myself to look in her eyes. So I fled to the cellar in search of supplies to escape the oppressive awkwardness. At the far wall, I found a rectangular panel of wood and several sticks of charcoal. My materials were obviously nothing compared to what a court artist might use, but I was clearly not going to be able to do a portrait of any kind justice. God, what am I doing? I want to bury my head in the sand. Jill was waiting for me in the stained glass chamber. It seemed she was still just as uncomfortable as I had left her. She gave me a fleeting glance before averting her gaze again. If only she would laugh or make a scene like usual, it'd make things so much easier. Why'd you have to choose now to start acting meek? What should I be doing? Stay perfectly still, please. Do you need me to pose or anything? No, just get comfortable. Look away. Why? It's hard to see when you're it's hard to work when you're watching me. What? I feel like I have to sneeze. Hold it in, please. What now? Can I see it? I've barely drawn anything yet. As long as our eyes didn't meet, I was able to observe her. And my gaze was quite clearly not focused on the rose, but Giselle. First I'd regretted my in-the-moment proposition, but I was beginning to think that it hadn't been such a bad idea. Without some sort of pretext, I would never be able to examine her so intently. I didn't have the kind of courage. This isn't like me. But what was like me? Did I prefer being a sharp-tongued, unapproachable recluse? What was that what I wanted to strive for? Giselle was like a gale. Her mere presence dispersed the gloomy clouds that always hovered about me. Thinking about it, it's practically a miracle that we ever ended up so comfortable around each other. That she's here right now. Light from the moon spilled through the stained glass window, taking on a multitude of pale tones were falling on her fair white skin and jade eyes. I'd stopped sketching at some point. You're gonna get in a real awkward position in a second, huh? Wonderworld was going on. My roses had finally bloomed, which I had thought to put a smile would put a smile on Mikhail's face, but rather than improve his mood, it made him go all strange. It made him say he wanted to draw something. Never seen Mikhail draw anything before. Can't sit still. Tried to sneak peeks at him every once in a while, but anytime our eyes met, he gave me a stern look that way stare. So I ended up spending the whole time looking at the Archangel in the stained glass window. What could he be thinking? Could this be thanks for the rose? Pretty sure he's not the type that would consider drawing an expression of gratitude, though. I'm not wrong, then. About that, it'll turn my whole world upside down. Maybe he wanted to draw me? Nah, that's not possible. That would turn the world upside down even faster. He couldn't. Close, sure, but you're not that kind of close. That makes it sound like Mikhail's attracted to me. There's no way, absolutely no way. He compares me to an obese rat and calls me an amateur chess and laughs while he crushes me. So that's not what this is it? Oh yeah? If it's too much trouble, you're free to leave. This might take a very long time to complete. Oh, no trouble at all. You had a very stern look on your face is all. I was doing that bad a job at hiding it? I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want. It's foolish of me to ask you, I'm sorry. Honestly, it's no trouble, I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. Not even that great an artist to begin with. It's not a talent I was blessed with. I'm being honest, can't imagine anyone would be pleased to have bad art drawn of them. What's he getting so negative about? I wasn't the only one making a face. His head was turning slightly downward, a forlorn shimmer in his eyes. Never seen him make that face before. He resembled a child who had just been scorned by his mother. I wasn't at all angry or displeased with him. I was just fine, honest. I had to get that through to him. I am pleased. Doesn't matter how it turns out, you do it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. The moonlight shone through the stained glass window was so enchanting. Lost myself in it. I'd be happy with anything drawn by me, by the man I love. For an instant, time froze. By the time I realized what I just said, my mind got blank and I couldn't form a coherent thought. I mean, like, like family. You're like an older brother to me. I meant love like for a brother, huh? Hey, say something, Master. Give me your usual exasperated side. Come on, go on, give me your best good grief, and then hurl me out the window. No, please show some disappointment, ha. Master. When the wood panel he was using as a canvas and the charcoal in his hand had crashed to the chapel floor, the clattering was so loud I jumped. I didn't have the presence of mind to wonder why he had knocked over the canvas, or why his hand appeared to be shaking. Let me help you with that. Stepped towards him. And when I did, the moonlight shining down upon us intensified, and in our gazes, Jade and Ruby intertwined. We're being spicy now. There was a visible rosiness in his ethereal pale cheeks, that bastard. Flickers of panic darted between the surface of his normally stony red eyes. They were trembling as he looked at me. I was lost for words. We must have been under the moon's spell. We weren't thinking. Stood there all frozen in the world, robbed of all rational thought. Riding the moonlight's current, his hand fell against my cheek. It's much colder than I expected, but it felt pleasant on my flushed skin. As we drew closer, I could feel the warmth emanate from his body, and I'm sure he could feel mine. The beating of my heart, too. His breathing stopped for a moment, and then he gulped. Brought his head in. Closed my eyes, and... Oh, no. Trauma. Then I shoved him away with all my strength. Ah. Oops, all trauma. Mikhail rolled back, knocking his head on the side of the pew and began groaning in pain, which is when I finally realized what I'd done. What have you done, Giselle? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Are you hurt? Fine. Sorry, you startled me. I really, truly didn't mean to knock you down. Should go back to your room. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you tonight. What? Get some rest. Good night. Turned away, marching off the corridor in shadow and darkness. This heavy air of loneliness hanging over him, which gave rise to phantom images of him actually disappearing into darkness. Caused him that, but I hadn't realized until it was too late. Felt like someone was sitting on my chest. What would I ever do that to him? Of course I'm gonna to hurt him reacting like that. Maybe I was hoping he would say it was just one of his jokes. Do I want it to be a joke? I had that option. I could pretend nothing ever happened and tomorrow go back to the way things were. But if I did that, there would most certainly never be a second chance. You're okay with it. You wanted it to so. Quit lying to yourself. You're the one who said you loved them, and that was no mistake. You wouldn't sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book with someone you didn't care for. You wouldn't enjoy eating supper with someone you didn't like. Wouldn't be able to live happily with someone you didn't love. If to go after him and find him, tell the truth. Meanwhile, in sad boy hours. The moonlight spell. What am I doing, for God's sake? I'm not in my right mind. Something was off about me today. Couldn't control myself. I was saying things I didn't mean, doing things I didn't intend. Never meant to do that. But at that point, I had no choice but to hit my feelings. Couldn't pretend I didn't know what they were anymore. How long had I felt this way? A week, a month, 6 months, or maybe a full year? Had they developed when we started anew? Nah, the when didn't matter. It didn't change the facts. I was attracted to her regardless of when it had begun. But she pushed me away quite literally. Sighed at myself. Why should I be disappointed? She was nothing like me. I was reclusive and unsociable. She was the exact opposite. She was the kind of person who would confidently tell someone how she felt. And she had done exactly that. Said that I was like a brother. But I hadn't listened. As a matter of fact, could I have been any more presumptuous? I don't deserve to love anymore. It's better that way. Master, time to drop kick you. What? I told you to go back to your room. Master, I need to tell you something, okay? Listen to me. What? About what just happened. That doesn't count, okay? You can't count any of that. Huh? That I said I loved you and that I shoved you. They don't count. Oh, right. I was planning to forget that anyway. So don't worry. No, that's not what I meant. What I'm saying is that it's not something that I should have said on a whim just because the moonlight was kind of pretty tonight. I wasn't supposed to be so casual. The way I said it doesn't get across how much I really care about you. Should have been something more impactful, really. Like me looking straight into your eyes, my heart jumping around like it's on fire. That's how it should have been. What are you saying? I'm saying I want you to give me one more chance to do it right. Just how? Calm yourself. I am calm. In no sense of the word are you calm. Fine that I'm not calm, but I am clear-headed. I mean every last word. Listen very carefully. I love you. I love you so much that I feel like my heart is going to explode. What? Huh? You mean like family? Like a brother, right? Romantic love. What? I wasn't upset back there. No, I was elated. What? My mind couldn't keep up with what I was hearing. Half out of breath where she stood, Giselle was frantically insisting that she loved me. Was I dreaming? Master? I'd like to hear how you feel about me. Assuming I interpreted that correctly, you were going for a kiss back there, right? Right, so I could take that as your answer? She had feelings for me. It was a miracle. I could hardly breathe. It felt like someone had stuck their hand in my chest and squeezed my heart. I just had to say yes, and a smile would appear across her face. I could bring her joy, and all it would take a single word. I had no reason to say no. My happiness was standing right there in front of me. What more could I ask for? All I had to do was reach out and claim it. Is this where his thing where he has to, like, berate his answers comes in conveniently? And I'll be like, oh. I loved her. I was a twisted man cast out in the world left with nothing, and I had no way of making her happy, but still. Don't tell me you've forgotten who you are. There's no moonlight that gave me the nudge. I do not feel that way about you. What? I got confused for a moment. I apologize for the misunderstanding that seemed to have caused. All the color drained from her, like a flower wilting in her eyes. A heavy sigh spilled from her lips. Jade eyes swayed lifelessly back and forth. I hadn't thought mere love could possibly have such weight, but she looked as though I just told her she was going to be executed. I see. I'm sorry. I let it go to my head. Ha ha ha, sorry for making such a racket. Really, God, what was I thinking? Got way ahead of myself there. Her foul energy hurt to watch. I had hurt her, and this was the result. You want to protect yourself, even when hurting her. Look where that got you. You would have been better off just going with it. Because when she learned the truth, she would have pushed you away anyway. Sorry, I'll be gone now. Sorry for barging in on you like that. Haha. She made her way into the shadows of the door. There, you did it. You preserved your peace. Got the feeling she would never again turn back. Your mistake was ever getting close to anyone. What I had always wanted was right there in front of me, and I was close to obtaining it. I actually did love her. She would never love the real you. She couldn't. Up, question marks, you're disgusting. Can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Oh, is this the other girl? I mean, he did mention that he would never love another again. Good night, Master. She was leaving. I wanted her here, and she was leaving. Somebody had to acknowledge my feelings, and she would come back. Was I really content to let her go? In my weakness, I mistreated her, and I hurt her. Let her go, and I was about to lose her, even though she had loved me. And I felt the same way. But wait, please don't go. Your voice is shaking like a scared child's. What were you hoping to tell her like that? She was different. She was probably... No, she was absolutely nothing like anyone in the past. She won't be any different. I decided I would just try one more time. To believe in myself and believe in someone else. I lied. Just off in the bottom of my heart, You'll regret this. No, I won't. I sincerely love you. Exclamation point! Cut to black. The fragrance of roses enveloped me, her arms wrapped around my chest. We were both imbued with strength and shaking like mad, as though the slightest touch might shatter them. Why didn't you just say so in the first place? She said in a quavering, sniveling voice inches from my ear. I lacked sufficient control over my mind and body to return her embrace, to run my hands through her hair, or do anything more than just support her weight. Sorry. Jerk. The bully brute. You don't get to play this off as a joke. Did you pass out? Monk S. I guess I'll stop here.